What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Dash today. It is the 18th day of November, and here we are with about $77 being the price, 7 hours and 40 minutes left in the day. We've pulled down a little bit. We're down 6%, but that's okay, right? Again, from this low point where we called the low, okay, we did say that we are not just going to move in a straight line. There will be higher highs and higher lows along the way. It's really once we break above this area here that we're expecting that straight price action to come in. It can happen at any time. We could just move through the roof. You never know. But again, here when you found your low, was it a straight shot through the highs? No. You dillied, you dallied. Here when you found your low, was it a straight shot above this high? No. You pulled up and then you pulled back. You actually pulled back twice and then you made a move up. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay that we're seeing a little bit of volatility here, especially as Bitcoin today is literally seeing lower levels. The lowest levels that we've really seen since May. Having a nice recovery here. Expected to close above 94K today, which is nice. Dash, let's look at the short-term stuff and then we'll go from there. I'm very much under the expectation still that Dash will see a $300 price or more before this move is overall completed, okay? And I'll say the same thing here that I said in my Zcash video. If anybody's thinking about buying Zcash, I would not financial advice, not a financial advisor, do whatever you want, but I would strongly recommend thinking about putting your money into Dash instead of Zcash, because Zcash, I think, has a maximum potential of like a 55% pump, whereas Dash from here, its minimum potential is closer to like a 250% pump, right? So you're at much better levels, I think, as far as accumulation goes. If we're looking at this on the short term, we're looking at this on a 1 hour time frame. Let's look at you with some volume. Okay, we'll take Coinbase. Not a lot of volume, right? You're moving down, volume is decaying, it's just completely absent, it's gone. Now you're moving up, looking like you want to break out of this trend. Let's see if we can get some volume to come in, right, to back that up. I think that'd be nice. A little bit of a double bottom down here. 1 hour time frame, some bullish divergence on the RSI, bullish divergence on the stochastics, bullish divergence on the MACD, on all three of them on the 1 hour time frame. Perfect, beautiful, we love it. Great, not a problem there. We take a low from Friday to the high here on 20. Do we take this high? This is on Coinbase, right? Coinbase had this massive wick. I don't think anybody, yeah, nothing else had that wick. Okay, so we'll take this low to this high. And we see that what do? We came all the way down for a double bottom in the golden ratio, 618 area. Perfect, right? Perfect. Now it's time to move higher. That's probably exactly what we'll do. Yes, 4 hour time frame. Looking at this here, I remember back here, we were like at this level. We're like, are we setting up for an inverse head and shoulders? It kind of still looks like it, doesn't it? But no, it's not an inverse head and shoulders. Closer to, we decided it was closer to a cup with handle. But even then, this is a pretty deep handle. I don't know, maybe not. I think this was more what we were thinking the handle was. I guess it's just the same length, really. It's longer now because, anyways, looking at the 4 hour time frame, we're finding support at prior areas of support here. We have higher lows in our RSI. I mean, it looks pretty in line there. Finding support at the 40 level in the RSI, that's a bullish situation in itself. The stochastics have gone from the oversold zone and they are now crossed up. Can we get out of the oversold zone and get into the band again, either by the end of today or sometime tomorrow? I think we can. I think we will. The MACD is at the 0, perfect area to bounce. And if you guys remember back here, whenever this happened, whenever we crossed above the 0, we did say we'd consolidate probably for about a day and a half to 3 days, right? And we did. We did just that. We consolidated here once we crossed above the 0. I mean, I would say we've consolidated now 17 bars. That's about 3 days. That's almost 3 days that we've been consolidating. Now it's time to move up. It's very common. It's for whatever reason on the 4 hour time frame when we close above the 0 or when we cross the 0 on the oscillators here, we do consolidate for like 1.5 to 3 days typically. It's been 3 days now. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Sometimes there's no consolidation at all, but we've definitely consolidated here and it looks like we want to move up higher. I think the golden ratio bounce is enough for me to get excited in itself. Okay, we can really get excited for any of the bears out there who might be watching this video saying, C-Zar, you're delusional, we're going lower. Okay, I'll bite. If we go lower, if we can close below $65 on a daily basis or 2 4 hour candles in a row close below $65, I'm wrong. But if I can accept that I'm wrong here, then can you accept by that same kind of length of a measurement, oops, that's not what I meant to do, to the upside, Could you accept, and this is actually even more, technically from this price, it's even more, could you accept that you're wrong as a bear if we close a day or two 4-hour candles in a row above $92 right here? Could you accept that you're wrong? Because when we close above here by the way of the fibs, that validates this as a low, and it validates the fact that we are going higher, that we have higher to go. Okay, $92 is the line in the sand for the upside. $65 is the line in the sand for the downside, and I very much do expect that we will be going higher, not lower. Okay. The RSI and the MACD look like they're at perfect areas to bounce. We're just waiting on the stochastics to show some life, and they will. Daily time frame, no bullish divergence, but bullish convergence. We have higher lows with higher lows. A little bit of a double bottom here in the stochastics, maybe a triple bottom even, right? You've got like a 1, 2, 3. The RSI right now is at the same areas that we found support before. Makes sense that we'd find support here, playing off of this hidden bearish or hidden bullish divergence where you have higher lows throughout this trend, and yet we have lower lows throughout the RSI. That's hidden bullish divergence. I very much anticipate that we're going to see higher prices. And from here, from a high to a low, the 1272 to the 1618 should be considered. But with these smaller kind of extensions, I would expect the 1886, even up to the 2618 could be expected. However, we know through further analysis that considering targets that are really like above $400 are probably not acceptable. Likely we will stop somewhere between 330 and 365. Mark it down somewhere between 330 and 365, if not a little higher. That'd be my thoughts, okay? I'm going to put lines here. I'm going to put a line right here at the golden ratio, because I think that's an area that makes sense. And I'm going to put a line here at the 200 level. And maybe we go just above it. Again, maybe we go just above it, but this is the rough area that we're associating with right now, okay? Looking at the weekly time frame, we take this pivotal high here from December of last year to the low in June, and we can see that our 1886 200 level lines up well within this range, right? The two white lines, this area lines up there, so we have fibs that line up there. That makes sense. That's good. Not really any significant fibs. It's not like it's the golden ratio or the 2272, but whatever, that's okay. We don't need it. Maybe that's a signal that we do just have a slightly higher high to go, or maybe we do go well above $400. I don't know. Time will tell. If we take this from the perspective of the cycle high last cycle to the bear market low this cycle, you can see that we've interacted with the golden ratio already, interacted with it. Typically when you go to the golden ratio, you go to your 0.5382 area for support, and then you move up. This is how we knew that the price would go right down here. Okay, this is why we were expecting that the price would go down here, plus prior resistance here, perfect area to find support. Typically, in this situation, whenever you find resistance at your golden ratio, you pull back to this level and you find support, you go up to your 786, 886, and if you notice these two white lines, they very well encapsulate our 786, 886 zone. A little bit above it on both accounts, but I would expect then, if I take away these white lines, if I take these lines away, which again, those are derived from this fib here, right? That was from the golden ratio to the 200 level. That's where those two white lines were derived from, okay? By the way of this fib, you would not expect to go above the 886. By the way of this fib, you would not expect to go above the 886. I would expect that you find some resistance somewhere between either $240 or $230 or $330. 240 to 330. For some reason, I thought it was $300 to $400. Maybe it will be, but let's adjust the parameters here again. Okay, so we take our white lines. This one's just above. Let's move it down. Maybe we find resistance right here at 327, 330, and from a high to a low. That checks out because it's still our 1886 right here. That checks out because it's still our 1886. That checks out because from a high to a low here, it's also at our 1886 right there. Okay. Now we look at not just last cycle's high to low, but this overall corrective phases high to low, right? Because this is overall one large correction, and maybe we move up and we see new all-time highs. Nobody knows. We'll see. From a high here, come on now, high here to the low here, our golden ratio zone is actually right there at $287 to $400. So this is why I thought 300 to 400 was our price target area, because that's the golden ratio zone. But maybe after further analysis, it wouldn't make sense really, in my opinion, to stop below the golden ratio. Just like on this fib here, from a high to a low, it wouldn't really make sense for us to go above the 886. So we move the white line down. Let's move this white line up. I think final decision if I had to be accepting of a margin of error, I would say that I would be wrong only to the upside, not to the downside. Okay? In other words, this is the target zone we have. We've redefined it. What's the word I'm looking for? We've refined it. We've refined it very well. Not redefined. We've refined. We've refined this level as much as we could. If I'm wrong, I don't anticipate to be wrong to the downside. I anticipate to be wrong to the upside. Maybe we do push $400. Maybe we do hit the top of that zone. Maybe we do, but I can't imagine we go too much higher. What we have here from $78 is a very bold call of a run. And really, it's not even from $78, right? We called the low down here at $62, $61. A very bold call to go specifically to this range of $287 to $323 from the current price. That would mean that we expect anything from 262% to about a 307% growth for Dash, likely by the end of this month of November. Certainly by the end of the year, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was by the end of November. November's end is right here. We just have to move up like this. And we've seen movements like that. Perhaps, and this would be a bigger move if we did that. Maybe it will be. Perhaps what we do instead is we stop somewhere along the way. Maybe we do interact with the golden ratio. Maybe from a low here or a high here to a low here, we do stop at like 250 or 200. Perhaps we do consolidate here for a little bit, and then it's December that we're up in this area. But either way, I don't think this move, whether it's the end of November or the very beginning of December, the first half of December, I think that this move continues to persist until we're at 287 to 323, and that's my expectation. Largely by the way of the fibs. You look at the daily indicators, though, we look at all the other indicators, so they're very bullish. You look at the weekly indicators, very bullish weekly indications here. Stochastics are bullish, MACD is bullish, all that stuff. But there's a double top. Yeah, okay, there is a, you're right, 100%, there's a double top. From a high to a low, we dropped 60%, 58.8% in a week, 2 weeks. So yeah, there was a double top, and we dropped 60% in 2 weeks because of it. So we've already seen that move. Now it's time to go higher. What did we do? We found support right here at prior resistance right there, at prior resistance right there, at prior resistance back here, at prior support back here at a very significant level. And beyond all that, from this low to this high, we found support right at the 382. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. In strong moves, you do backtest the 382, and typically you find support when working your way higher. And there's zero doubt in my mind that we will see higher targets. I'm fully anticipating that we see something between 287 and 323. And that's all I got for you. So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves. Buy the dip, if anything. Not financial advice again, but if I was looking to do anything, I'd probably sell Zcash here and buy Dash, although Zcash is moving up at a nice pace right now. I think Dash is at a better place to buy, personally. But I got nothing else, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.